Punting through that whole thing. The joy, the faith, the hope, the love. I'm Gail Johnson-Vaughan, and I had to stop all your chatting and greeting each other so we could sing that song. And now, after you've made sure that your devices are off, I'm going to invite you to greet the people who you weren't chatting with a minute ago and make sure everybody feels really greeted and welcome. Please do.
All month, our land acknowledgements have reminded us of the joy the Nisenan derived from living on this beautiful land, and the sense of responsibility we here feel as visitors of this land, visitors and residents of this land. They never ceded. It has been our intention to keep these acknowledgements from being rote recitations, because what they experienced was far from rote. I invite you to listen as if you were a member of the tribe, perhaps feeling some hope, perhaps joy, that in this place they are not excluded, not erased, they are celebrated. And so we offer these words as a down payment of the work that we do and will do in partnership with them. With this basket of black oak acorns, we express our heartfelt desire that the Nisenan people may recover more and more of their rich cultural heritage. We commit to support them in these and other efforts in whatever ways we can, under their guidance and at their request.
Thank you, Yvonne Bartlett, one of our newest members. And now I'd like to invite Jim Bear, whose beautiful photography you will be seeing throughout, to come and light the chalice and then read some words that go with it.
Good morning. This morning I'm honored to read It Dances by Reverend Scott Taylor. Look carefully, this fragile flame, it dances, barely able to contain its delight, bursting with the joy of being brought into being, and it seems to want us to do the same. So this morning, may we let it lure us into letting go of the worries, of the stiffness that sets in after all the striving, of the myth that productivity alone gives us purpose. This garden of life we've been given is a playground, friends. So says this joyful flame.
And as Gail takes some of that joyful flame and lights the lantern that will send our children off to kids' space, let us sing them on their way. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, welcome to UUCM's Sunday service on this last Sunday of the month of April, where all month, against all odds really, Gail and Kevin have been leading us on a delightful journey of discovering what it means to be a people living love through joy. And what a month it has been. The services they've offered us, juxtaposed with the current state of affairs, amazing. Am I right? I am so grateful for the sanctuary of this space and for the opportunity to step in for Tracy Pepper today. My name is Beth Karow, and I am overjoyed to be... Wait a second. Overjoyed? Is that really a thing? Is there such a thing as too much joy? Right? And more so, like, who gets to decide? Is there like a joyometer that alerts when you're approaching the risk of becoming overjoyed? And then what happens if we're overjoyed? Who knows? Maybe we turn into flowers. Because truly, where is there a more truly fitting symbol of joy than a flower? Well, today we'll be celebrating a uniquely Unitarian Universalist ritual called the Flower Communion. Gail is going to be speaking on that more soon, but you should know that for this ritual, Like so much of Unitarian Universalist traditions, well, and indeed as you use ourselves, this ritual is different every time we do it, but with underlying roots that unite us in a shared sense of purpose and tradition. Traditionally untraditional. That's us, right? Perhaps my most favorite movie of all time, and I've got Gemini somewhere in my chart that makes it really hard to nail down favorites, so I said most perhaps, but I kind of think it is my favorite movie of all time. And it was a box office failure, but it turned into a cult classic. It's got a fantastic soundtrack of Cat Stevens songs. Harold and Maude, anyone else know it and love it? Okay, I think we need to do a whole service on it someday, right? Okay, maybe like one of those evening ones. Okay, so for those of you unfamiliar with this movie, we have to fix that. But I'll just let you know, it's a movie about the love between Harold, a young man stepping into the prime of his life, obsessed with death, and Maude, an old woman facing the end of her life, with a contagiously intoxicating, joyful love of life. In one familiar scene, memorable scene, Maude and Harold are picnicking, and they're talking about reincarnation. Maude, who is very short, played by Ruth Gordon, Maude has led a remarkably full and kind of complicated life, said, "I should like to change into a sunflower most of all. They're so tall and simple. What flower would you like to be?" And Harold points at a daisy and says, "I don't know, one of these maybe." And Maude asks, "Why do you say that?" And he answers, "Because they're all alike." And Maude comes back with, "Oh, but they're not. Look, see, some are smaller, some are fatter, some grow to the left, some to the right, some have even lost some petals, all kinds of observable differences. You see, Harold, I feel that much of the world's sorrow comes from people who are this, yet allow themselves to be treated as that." So, my friends, my flowers, my flowery friends, here in the sanctuary, or in the chanting room in the back, or on Zoom, or watching later on YouTube, here it comes. Whether your petals are perfectly in place, or a bit shaggy and ragged, whether you've yet to fully blossom, or you're drooping from the passage of time, feeling prickly like a cactus, or juicy like a succulent, bright and bold or faded and demure, cultivated or wild, well-nourished or maybe overly fertilized. I hope that for this time together, we all, with all of our differences, observable or not, feel appreciated, cared for, and truly welcomed into this UUCM garden. It is good to be together.
We are such a rich community of joy and talent and wonderfulness. Thank you, Beth. As Tracy, Kevin, and I began crafting this month of services exploring joy as a practice of living love, we thought through the times when joy burst through this difficult and challenging time, reminding us of the contagious voices of our friends at the Resistance Revival Chorus as they sing, "This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away." What we pondered, could remind us that our joy is always there, that it's a seed waiting to sprout. That's when we knew this would be the Sunday that would be just right to do the flower communion. And to do it with a special emphasis this time on the seeds that give birth to the flowers that shout with joy, and in turn conceive the seeds that will continue the fertile, joyful cycle. The flower communion was born through a walk in a park in Prague in 1923. That was Norman Čapek, minister of a humanist Unitarian congregation. Now, it may be useful to be reminded that Czechoslovakia became an independent country in 1919 as one of the outcomes of World War I and the breakup of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Actually, I didn't remember that either, but Wikipedia helped me. It was a country in its infancy, and during this time, contested borders, power jostling, fears of invasions. So for some time, Čapek had felt the need for some sort of symbolic ritual that would bind his people more closely together in a time of great challenge. The format had to be one that would not alienate any who had forsaken other religions, traditions, and the traditional Christian communion service with bread and wine was unacceptable to the members of his congregation that had a strong reaction against the Catholic Church. So he pondered this, and as he turned the corner, he came upon a lovely garden full of blossoming flowers, so abundant and colorful that it took his breath away, and it filled him with joy. As he stood there absorbing the natural beauty, he thought, yes, my people are like these blossoms. As he likened this garden to his congregation of brave beings, knowing that the energy of the flowers is that in order to flourish, they must open. We are like blossoming flowers, abundant and colorful in spirit and joy when we open to life in all its diversities and possibilities. When we risk reaching into those hidden garden parts of ourselves to blossom into the whole of who we are. Even in times, these challenging times, when we access joy that waits pregnant inside us for its time of blossoming. This morning, we filled vases overflowing with the joy of blossoming flowers, so many that there are plenty for each of you to choose one to take home. And today, you will take home more than flowers. You will also take home flower seeds, wild flower seeds, symbolizing the joy inside you that will grow stronger and stronger no matter what is happening outside of you. Then at the right time, will sprout, grow, bloom, just as we are during this challenging time.
Challenging time indeed. We'll pause now and take a moment to reflect on what we're holding in our hearts and in our minds today, giving ourselves a chance to look inward for who or what wants to come forth and be noticed, and perhaps acknowledged in our ritual of coming forward to place stones into the bowl of water. The stones symbols of the often heavy weights we each carry within us. And the bowl of water. First, the bowl itself, symbolizing the solid, reliable container of community that we form together. And then the water, cleansing, refreshing, renewing, sustaining, and always circulating. Water is life. So when combined together, the water receives the stones, our individual joys and sorrows, and the impact sends imaginary ripples throughout our community of caring. During this time of communal deep breathing and quiet reflecting, those in the building who wish to come up can drop a stone into the water, while those on Zoom are welcome to briefly type into the chat bar maybe a little bit of what you're carrying today, or you can simply type an O or a 0 to symbolize your own stone. And as we listen to the beautiful music, it is important to keep in mind that even as we are holding this space for each other, that we ourselves are being so held. And I'll invite George Dunstan as lay pastoral care team member to come up and light our candle of concern and caring. I think that's what that's called, right? Compassion. There you go. Compassion, resistance, and resilience. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Please come up. That's yours. George placed the last pebbles to acknowledge that which remains unshared, unspoken, perhaps still too tender to bring forth. And as we reflect on all that was placed into our communal bowl and what remains in the quiet space within, unacknowledged perhaps, but here nonetheless, I invite you to a time of meditation and prayer. Center yourselves. Put your feet on the floor if you wish to settle into place. Take a few deep breaths and follow them all the way in and all the way out. Spirit of life, spirit of love, that which is held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Our lives are like flowers. We open to special moments, beautiful joys, delightful experiences, laughter, and smiles. We inspire joy, and we also nurture seeds of joy deep inside our quiet places. May we celebrate the beauty of the precious flowers and rejoice, rebloom, recreate as we plant our seeds to sprout, blossom, and bloom again, and plant again, only to sprout and bloom again, over and over and over and over, in a never-ending cycle. Yes, and if the time between creating the seed and the flower it produces has challenges, disappointments, sadnesses, or struggle, may we make space to mourn and cry and water our seeds with our healing tears so that the flowers return. For all the seasons of our lives, may we rely on the strength of community, our faith, and the confidence that we are all part of the cycle of life and that love endures. Blessed be and amen.
The Days of Too Many Flowers by Tess Baumberger. We all have those days of no flowers, just weeds. You know the kind I mean. The days when the trials and tribulations seem most present. The days when the commitments we make exceed the time we were meant to give. And yet it is all such good work, and there's more to do. The days when someone is snarky and we snark right back. The days of our own mistakes that we cannot admit to ourselves. The days of criticism we take too much to heart, ignoring all previous and future praise. The days when we simply cannot summon compassion for those who push our buttons, no matter how hard we try to do so. We all know those days of no flowers in our life, when the weeds rise up and seem to choke out the beauty. Then there are the days of more flowers than the vases can hold. You know those days. The days of fun and productivity, where creativity is queen in loving and thoughtful ways. Days when everything flows. The days when people treat one another gently, even when someone is snarky, even if it is you. When a thoughtful silence wraps you and them in a holy moment of connection. The days when you can take criticism with a grain of salt and praise and positive feedback with a thankful, open hand. The days when exactly the right thought, word, or action occurs to you at exactly the right moment. And you think it, or say it, or do it. And you witness something opening up inside you, or in another person, or in the garden spaces between you. These are the days of too many flowers for any vase to hold. May this be a day of too many flowers for you, and in the coming weeks and months, may such days grow in number and frequency for each of us. May we rejoice in the abundance of our blessings.
Now will you rise in body and or spirit as you're willing and able, and join us singing number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. And during the singing, the flowers will be presented.
For
I'm going to invite Beth to join me so that we can be up here together, because we have fun together, if you can't tell. So, look at those raucous beauties of flowers, these blossoms born of seeds of joy. In a few minutes, you'll be invited to come and choose one. Perhaps it'll be a different color than the flower that you might have brought or found out front, or a different size, or perhaps it will be several blossoms on a single stem. Will it be fragrant? Will you take a sniff before you choose it? Will it say, "This is exactly how I feel today"? Or, "This is how I used to feel, and I want to feel again"? Or, "This is how I want that snarky person to feel, so I can feel safe when I'm around them"? Will your flower flood you with joy? Will it give you hope? Will it bring tears to your eyes? Will you want to give it to someone? So many feelings come with these blossoms of beauty. But wait, that's not all, because these flowers, if we left them in the ground, would have made seeds so they could grow again. So to make up for that, you will be offered a packet of wildflower seeds. Seeds that nature insists come back year after year through the gift of the pollinators and the wind and the dirt-stained hands of the gardeners and children. They are truly seeds of joy.
We are as seeds, tightly held, closed, strong, both for protection from the outside elements and for the growth that can only happen within that secret place with room for one, anticipating the right moment for the shift to signal that the time is right to crack open. Maybe the walls will open effortlessly on their own, or maybe they need a combination of pushing from the inside and pulling from the outside. Maybe it's a burst forth, or perhaps it's a more timid tendril of exploration. But before we reach up and out towards the light, we send roots down into the ground, both for anchoring against whatever might threaten, but also to access deep nourishment for the work ahead. Can you feel that? The underground made richer and more sustaining by the network of roots, webs of micronutrients collectively helping each other to thrive, to reach, to grow towards the light and life that calls to each of us in our own turn.
What seeds do you want to grow? What seeds do you want UUCM to grow, to sow? Seeds of division and hate, or seeds of unity and love? Just like the flowers, we can spread our seeds of love right here, as we do each time we gather, whether face-to-face, one-on-one, as we are here this morning in this room and in the chanting room and in rooms of dozens of Zoom rooms around. And those seeds of joy will sprout. We feel it each week. We feel it in ourselves, and we see it in the faces of others. We see it in the shifting political winds as they seed growing defiance and dissent to unacceptable actions in our government. We see it as we challenge our own implicit biases to be able to see the beauty in those who think and behave differently than we.
May we be as seeds in our gardens. May we help each other to thrive, to weather the storms, to do the hard work of living, to find comfort and caring, to celebrate the growth, and to witness each other in all of our beautiful, messy, joyful, precious, love-filled cycles of life.
The wildflower seeds you will get and take home came from American Meadows, along with a planting guide. Plan, prepare, plant. Patience, purpose. We would be wise to follow this wisdom as we plant the seeds we want to grow. I invite you to come forward now to gather your flower and seeds.
There's more. Amy Zucker Morgenstern writes, "Each of us is a flower with a delicate beauty uniquely our own. We may be like sunflowers, turning always towards the light. May our lives bloom like the flowers.
May we be like the night blooming cereus, only displaying our fragrant petals when it is dark and we think no one can see.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. We may be hothouse flowers, far from our native lands, cautiously tended within a harsh and unfamiliar climate. May our lives bloom like the flowers.
We may be gray-headed like dandelions, eager to launch the new generation with the first strong gust of wind, past our own bright youth, but ready to pass our wisdom on to our precious gossamer-carried seeds.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. Some of us sometimes spring up overnight and fade in the hot glare. May our lives bloom like the flowers.
Some of us, sometimes, are roses, slowly assembling petal after petal, tightly wrapped, and revealing our full glory only when everything is in place.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. Sometimes we are roadside weeds, loveliness bursting improbably from the dust and debris.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. May we offer our beauty with the simplicity of flowers, expecting no recognition, hoping for nothing, giving out of what we are,
and knowing it is enough.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. Amen.
so this will be interesting for two reasons. One, I play a classical guitar, which has a, these are not in the right places, which has a much wider neck, so my fingers are going to be overreaching all these strings. Usually it's the D string that breaks, which is the thinnest bass string, but it was actually not my D string that broke. So the neck on this guitar is like this, and my neck's like that. So I'm going to be reaching really far and then having to back off again. And I've never played this guitar before. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warn them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. I think they're going to put the words up and we'll all do this again. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warn them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, man is made from dreams and bones. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Grain for grain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. Tune my body and my brain to the music from the land. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, come and test these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch on yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as my feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warn them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Once more. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the sun comes tumbling down.
Stacy Sisak Robinson shared these words with us today. Do not give until you bleed. Bleeding is messy and is not necessary. An open heart has its own strength and its own borders. Kindness fits within the space just so sweetly, like flowers in a field, a riot of colors and glory. This month, your kindness and generosity spill over to child advocates of Nevada County, who are receiving 50% of the gifts from Sunday offerings all month. Their work brings hope and healing to children who have suffered abuse and neglect, and also their work prevents abuse and neglect in other children through their very effective puppeteer and healthy babies programs. We invite you to pollinate the flowers work done by UUCM and child advocates with your gifts. Greeters, will you come forward? Please see the slides for other ways to give. Thank you for your generosity. We dedicate these gifts to the planting of seeds of joy throughout the gardens of our lives. May it be so. So we had some pollinators putting this service together. Beth, believe it or not, came on board Tuesday, and her words are so wonderful. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jim, for your reading and your beautiful photographs. Oh my, one of them I have now on my screensaver. So. And Yvonne, thank you, and Gracie, really beautiful, really beautiful. Musicians, Claire, I can't thank you enough, and for your being present and non-flustered. Sure, okay, so we'll start over. And Toby, we're so glad to have you back. Paul in Cyprus, we gave you some big hoops to jump through this week. Thank you so much for being with us through it. Eileen, out there in Zoomland, thank you so much. Linda and Patricia for the setting and so many of the beautiful flowers. All of you who brought flowers to make it so beautiful. The greeters, Lori, Jean, Laura. It feels so welcoming to walk in with them here. It's great. The one with the beard was not Gwen. That's our wonderful George Dunstan. And refreshments, Cynthia Burton, Barbara Johnson, Carol Nimick. I saw them working back there before. Yum. That's in the back down the hall for those of you who are with us for the first time. And up in Kids Connection, Jenny and Cheryl Spalding, who kind of puts it all together. So I hope the kids had fun up there as well. These are some things that are happening this week. The elevator speech series. Can you explain what UUCM and UU is in the time you get from floor to floor? That's what we're working on. It's great. Singing meditation, wonderful place to drop in, just mesmerizing. Graphic design with Jenny and Tamar coming up. That's on Friday. And intro to UU 101, an intro to what this is all about, will be next Sunday. Online auction has started already. You can go to the website to find it. And the live auction, which is coming up next, is this coming Saturday, 2 to 4. Lots of fabulous stuff. You can also go to UUCM, UUGrassValley.org, and take a peek at what's going to be there. It's some pretty cool things, actually. I noticed there's a safe parking place for a month. And then drop into that website. It's pretty amazing, very easy to navigate, and so many things going on from this small congregation. Closing song. The earth was given as a garden. You will recognize this tune. I was surprised when I was looking for the right song to sing. I was trying to read it, and I went, wait, I know that tune. So even though you haven't sung this before, it's going to be familiar for any of you who've hung out here, and for those of you who are just getting to know us, it's a kind of a peek at what you might find here. So please rise in body and our spirit as we sing, "The Earth Was Given as a Garden."
Knowledge, place for our discovery.
Our closing words are by Reverend Susan Frederick Gray with a little joyful adaptation.
May we remain always mindful of how radical and powerful love is.
How radical and powerful joy is in the face of fear.
How dangerous those who use fear to build power know love to be.
How dangerous those who use fear to build power know how powerful joy to be.
How necessary and essential the spirit and struggle for universal love.
For human dignity.
For reverence for life, every life, all creation remains. Always.
As we go forth today, remember that we are keepers of this flame as we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. And those of you in the room, next week, may the 4th be with you. In a galaxy far, far away, the possibilities are endless. Hope we'll see you then. Refreshments in the back.